Hello there, I'm Ken Loggins. You found another edition of Home Folks. This is my privilege every now and then to get together with not only you listening, but to visit with some folks I think the world of. I know you think the world of as well, people that have had an impact on my life, maybe your life as well. They have a lot of neat stories to tell. Maybe you've heard some of these stories, maybe you haven't. But you know how it is with a good story. We can always hear it again and again and again. It never gets old. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Ken Loggins Online. That's Ken Loggins Online on YouTube. And also, don't forget to follow the Facebook page, Ken Loggins Online on Facebook. Ken Loggins Online on Facebook. We're privileged to be in the home today of Ken and Mary Bone, visiting with them for a little while today here in Melbourne, Arkansas. We're on Haley Street in the, I used to call it the Millcrest subdivision. I'm not sure what they call it these days, but that's what I'll always know it as. Thank you both for taking the time to be with us today. Now, this is my first couples interview I've done, so there's going to be a little bit of a dynamic here. It'll almost feel like sometimes, I guess, I'm Bob Eubanks and we're on the Newlywed Game, because I might ask you a question and you might have a recollection of it and you might have a different recollection of it, and we'll just try to sort it out. Thank you both so much for welcoming me into your home and allowing us to do this today.
You're very welcome.
Now, we're going to go ladies first. We're going to kind of alternate between you two. And I'm talking right now to my lovely Aunt Mary Bone, who I think the world of. And a lot of you might remember her first as Mary Lynn, then Mary Lynn Haley, and now Mary Bone. This home we're in, where we're recording, had to be one of the first homes built in the Millcrest subdivision. Do you remember what year it was built?
69, and we were the first. It was a big field.
Haley Street. Now, was it known as Haley Street at that time or after the home was built, I guess?
After it was built.
After it was built, after the occupants of this first place on the street. So it didn't take long for more homes to spring up, I would imagine.
Not very long, but there's only about, I think, 9 original people here that built their houses.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them have either passed or moved.
Aunt Mary, let's talk a little bit about some of your earliest childhood memories, your parents, your grandparents. Where were you born?
I was born down in the country here from Melbourne, about 3 miles.
About 3 miles from Melbourne. In what direction?
South.
South side of town, okay.
In a log cabin.
Uh-huh. And talk a bit about your earliest memories of your grandparents.
I remember my Lynn grandparents better than my Moody's. My grandmother Moody died when I was 5. Mama Lynn lived to be, I was 8.
Mm-hmm.
Remember her fixing fresh buttermilk and putting sugar in it, and I liked it. That's what I remember. That's my memory of her.
Talk a bit about your parents.
Minnie and Mac Lynn.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
We lived down in the country, you know, and Daddy farmed for a while, and we did some cotton. And then when I was about 15, we went to Washington and went back and forth up there.
Siblings.
James' oldest, Claude and Bill.
Mm-hmm.
They're all gone but me.
You're the only girl in the bunch.
No, I always wanted a sister to help me wash dishes.
Well, Ken, let's cover the same ground with you. The origin story of Kim Bone. Where did that start?
I was born about a quarter of a mile down here on Mill Creek in 1931.
31, okay.
January 20th, my grandma lived in Lunenburg, and she rode an old mule up here to be with Mom when I was born.
And tell me a bit about your parents.
Well, my dad and Mom moved here from Oklahoma. Mom was in Oklahoma working. Dad had a little barber shop just out of Oklahoma City there. And they got married. My older brother was born in Oklahoma. And then they came over here, and I was born here.
Mm-hmm. How many other siblings were there?
I have 2 other brothers.
Okay.
2 are living, 1 is passed.
Mm-hmm. Mary Lynn, what were your favorite things to do as a youngster?
Oh, I'd get out the old plow horse and I'd ride it. That was my about my favorite thing to do, I guess.
Do you remember some of your earliest childhood friends? Of course, social circles were kind of limited back then, certainly not like it is today where you could go everywhere at the drop of a hat. But some of the folks that might have grown up around you, some of your friends that you might have had.
Somebody about a mile down the road, Lois June Tate, and I'd go down and visit her. I remember one day I went down there and didn't come back when I was supposed to, and I saw Daddy coming with a big long switch. And he gave me one lick, and that's all I ever remember him giving me, ever.
And it didn't happen again, I guess, after that.
No, that didn't happen again.
It worked.
Your earliest memories growing up, Ken, over here, and anybody you used to run with, your family used to be close to?
Well, her brothers.
Yeah.
We used to play together, lived about we were about a half a mile apart.
Probably.
So the Bones and the Lynns,
Lived in
you were in the pretty much the same circle from the get-go.
within a mile
Yeah.
of each other. Her older brother and second oldest used to we'd meet each other on the road and play whatever on the road bank and whatever you could find to do. We didn't have toys.
Yeah. So when it came time to go to school, where did you go?
We went to Melbourne.
Okay.
We walked in the rain, sleet, and snow.
3 miles, pretty good haul one way.
That was a good haul.
Yeah. Okay. Did
They
you do the
finally put
same?
a bus down there, but it was several years later.
Yeah.
Walked, the same. And where this house is now was a cotton field. This was all cotton field and bean field. And walk down here and then crawl through the fence, go through the pasture, and come out over at Melbourne Times office, going to school.
There you go.
And
Had a little cut through. Aunt Mary, did you have, at least in elementary school, do you remember some of the teachers, some of your favorite subjects?
Miss Virgie was my first teacher. And then Nola Moody was my fourth grade teacher. She gave me my first spanking. And it was she called it a half spanking.
It probably hurt your pride more than anything else.
My second grade teacher was the superintendent's sister. She'd always get me up by the stove, because we had just wood stoves, and let me warm my feet when I got in. She was sweet.
So did y'all know one another that early on in elementary school, or was it a case of him knowing your brothers?
Well, he knew my brothers. I was 4 years
She
younger.
was younger.
And,
We didn't have anything to do with them.
and then he
young
left
kids.
here when he was 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember him till I was 15.
Gotcha. What about your elementary school years? Do you have any memories of
Went to
specific
school
teachers?
Melbourne till 6th grade, 5th grade.
10 years old.
I was 10. And then we moved to Arizona in 41. Picked cotton. A funny dad, I remember, with Pima cotton, 3 locks to the bowl. He said it's like milking a mouse.
So many families from here would go to Wenatchee to get work. Was that move to Arizona made on that basis to get
work? It
work?
was made because of my mother's health.
Gotcha.
She had pleurisy or something, and the doctor told her Dad to get to a drier climate. And I started the 5th grade in Glendale, and Japan bombed Pearl Harbor on a Sunday, December 7th, and the teacher brought a radio in our classroom Monday morning and let us listen to Roosevelt declare war on Japan.
Something you'll never, ever forget. It happens at such an early age. It's amazing. Hey, we're just getting started here. Once again, visiting with Mary and Kim Bone. This is Home Folks. I'm Ken Loggins. We're back in just a moment. Lots more with our very special guests, Ken and Mary Bone, on the way for you shortly. Right now, I want to remind you, I really appreciate it when you do business with our Home Folks partners. like Mike Watson, State Farm Insurance, with locations in Highland and Melbourne, and everywhere online at talktomikewatson.com. Townsend Spice and Supply, 725 East Main in Melbourne, serving you since 1978, specializing in custom spice blends, herbs, and seasoning. Mill Creek Monuments in Melbourne, family owned and operated. Call 870-291-7833. Cooper's Hawk Golf Course and the Hawk's Nest Grill in Melbourne. Cooper's Hawk ranked #1 in Arkansas for 3 years straight. Come and play, come and stay. And by Future Fuel Chemical Company in Batesville, leading the way in the manufacture of specialty chemicals and biofuels. We're back here on Home Folks. I'm Ken Loggins. Our pleasure to be visiting with Ken and Mary Bone. We were talking earlier about their elementary school years, and you were telling me, Aunt Mary, that you actually purchased the Bone home after they had moved to Arizona. How did that all come about?
Well, Daddy bought it, so we moved up there out of the log cabin.
Mm-hmm. Moving on up. So, at what point, Ken, do you move back here?
The war broke out.
Mm-hmm.
Dad was in World War I. They were talking of bombing Oregon, and we moved back to Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had some old war buddies. A couple of them lived over at Fayetteville. So we went to Fayetteville, and one of his friends there, we lived on their place for a while till Dad bought a place there at Fayetteville, and that's where we lived when we came back.
Okay.
I went to school at Stony Point, a little country school. There was 3 of us in the 7th grade and 5 in the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
One teacher teaching all classes.
Wow.
And she didn't want to teach us, so she just put us in the 8th. I skipped the 7th. And that's where I graduated from grade school and then started the high school at Fayetteville.
Okay.
Then, because we were out of the Springdale district,
mm-hmm.
so we had to pay a tuition to go to Fayetteville, to University High, Peabody Hall.
Uh-huh. Aunt Mary, when I think about your family, Lynn family, I think about musicians. Lots of times growing up as a youngster, I'd find myself listening to your dad, Mac Lynn, play harmonica there on the bandstand. Chick Lynn would also frequent that space and perform, and also, of course, Uncle Lyle Hedrick playing the harmonica, the auto harp, very, very talented musician. Was there always music in your house, or was that something that would come along later?
Later years.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, they got to go into Mountain View, and
so they kind of caught the folk bug, didn't they?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, they went to the folk center and played over there, and they had a lot of fun.
You get to your high school years here in Melbourne.
Yes.
And talk about some of maybe the friends you ran around with in high school.
Oh, I was friends with Shirley Guthrie, Sue Shell, Martha Caldwell, and I pretty much liked everybody.
Did you like to play ball very much? Were you a ball player?
I didn't play ball. I went out, but I was real shy,
mm-hmm.
and I just felt embarrassed. But then when I was a senior, we played the teachers, and I played that night, and Ethel Marlin thought I kept shooting, and I just hitting everything.
So you've been holding out on me. Where you been these past 4 years?
It was kind of funny after all.
So, Ken, were you an athlete? Did you play a lot of ball when you were in your younger years, high school?
Went out for football when I started high school. We practiced. There was still, the war was going on,
mm-hmm.
and there was about 300 airmen stationed there in Fayetteville, and they had a track that they ran every day for exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Our coach made us run that obstacle course. And we got all set, and we were going to beat Fayetteville High. And we were supposed to get, after the war was over, about 46, when we were supposed to get the university's old uniforms. They couldn't get new ones, so we never did get uniforms, so we never played in football.
Okay.
We were all set to beat Fayetteville High, but
Can't play without uniforms.
play with my football career.
It was short, but it was glorious. Just all you needed was a uniform. You would have been all state.
We could have beat them, I know.
What were your favorite subjects in school? What did you do better in? Maybe what you didn't like so much?
I didn't like going to Charlie Cross's office.
I don't think anybody did. And I don't even know Mr. Cross, but it sounds like something I wouldn't want to do.
He was our principal, and one time I was there, and it was because we had senior skip day, and I skipped and went with several out to Lake Weddington went swimming, and then we went before Mr. Cross, but I had to take my dad in with me.
Oh, boy. Just gets better and better, doesn't it? Now, I know Mary Lynn never, ever got in any kind of trouble, did you?
Yeah.
Well, that one spanking you were talking about a while
I'm
ago.
afraid
but
I did, though. Well, that was a half spanking.
Yeah, the half spanking.
We played hooky on the April Fools and went to the Melbourne Cave.
Okay.
And that was, of course, went in next time to see Mr. Perriman, and he was the kindest, sweetest man you've ever seen. And he made me feel so guilty time I left.
Some teachers could do it with just a good talk.
Yes.
No corporal punishment involved, no suspension, no grounding. They would just make you feel so guilty.
Oh, I felt awful.
You never, ever want to do it again.
No, I didn't do it again.
Do you have any memories of, and of course you mentioned some of your closest friends in high school, some of the subjects you really liked the best?
English.
You liked English?
I liked English. Miss Jacobs.
Were y'all good at math? I never was good at math.
I didn't like math much.
I
Those
didn't
reading
either.
problems, I really got tired of them.
And I'm still not.
We went to Washington, and we had to, we got back late for school to start in my second year, and so I didn't take algebra. So I couldn't take geometry.
Yeah.
And so that was about the end of my
That's why you didn't wind up at NASA.
math career.
Okay. You were saying you're 15 or so.
I was 15.
Wenatchee trip that you
summer
made.
I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
And we went out and picked a few apples. I wasn't a very good apple picker. And then Mother and me worked in the sheds, packing stuff.
Okay. Did you ever have the privilege, Ken, to go out to Wenatchee and do some of that? Get in on some apple picking, hops,
You call it a privilege?
Can be interpreted a lot of different ways. Yeah.
Yes, I did, and I picked apples. And my uncle had one arm. He could pick more apples with one arm than I could with both mine. He did.
You brought up, Ken, a trip that you took by yourself. Usually it was a good idea to have at least somebody on your wing or whatever going with you, or maybe caravanning, but you struck out for Wenatchee on your own with $45. And what year approximately was that?
Well, that would have been in 1953.
3, I think.
It would have been in 53.
Okay. Yeah. You remember what kind of car you were in, or truck, or what was it?
I had a 47 Chevrolet coupe.
Uh-huh.
I had $45 when I left home, and Mom made me some sandwiches.
Uh-huh.
That lasted me till I got out to Provo, Utah.
And you drove straight
I drove
through.
Straight through to
Yeah.
Provo. And then pulled over to a rest stop, slept 3 or 4 hours, and drove on into Wenatchee. Got to Wenatchee with 45 cents.
Well, you had something about the number 45. You $45 to 45 cents, but you made it. You added that you had several things, though, you could pawn if you had to.
I had, yes, a rifle and a nice German camera.
But once you got there, you found work, so that 45 cents ballooned pretty quick, I would imagine.
Stayed with my aunt till I went to work, which was right away.
Hey, coming up, we're going to have more with Ken and Mary Bone, very special edition of Home Folks. All these visits are extra special, and we appreciate you joining us. Once again, subscribe on the YouTube channel, Ken Loggins Online. That's Ken Loggins Online. That's a YouTube channel, also on Facebook at Ken Loggins Online as well. Back with more Home Folks in just a moment. Lots more with our very special guests, Ken and Mary Bone, on the way for you shortly. Right now, I want to remind you, I really appreciate it when you do business with our Home Folks partners. Sonia Hames-Wiles Family Dentistry, 410 Court Street in Melbourne. For your next appointment, call 870-368-6666. Sharp County Outdoors, 587 Highway 62 West in Ash Flat. Specializing in sales and repair of used tractors, equipment, ATVs, and UTVs. Triple M Discount and Miller Poultry and Cattle. Your go-to for silk flowers, cemetery arrangements, hardware, tools, home decor, fresh eggs, and locally raised beef. 2412 East Main Street in Melbourne. And by Izard County Abstract, with an office full of names you know and trust. Miller, Rush, Caraway, Morris, Watson, and more. Serving you since 1954. We're visiting with Ken and Mary Bone on this edition of Home Folks. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been talking a lot about their younger years in elementary school, high school, trips out to Washington. And understand that the first hint of a romance involving you two actually happened in Washington. And I'll let Aunt Mary go first. Let's get the backstory.
Oh, I thought he was really cute, and we just dated some, but we dated with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Oh, remember we went swimming and different things, went dancing. Mm-hmm. But didn't last too long because Kenneth got interested in somebody else. You did.
Well, you wouldn't go to Coeur d'Alene with me.
There was a proposal back then, I understand. Okay, is that okay to talk about that?
Well, yeah.
And this had to happen in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
you had to go
go across the line
cross
and
state
get married
lines
without waiting.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
so
I was just 18 at that time, and it scared me.
So I dropped her. Got me another one.
Found one that'd get married.
Got another one and kept her for 32 years.
I guess most of those years were out in Washington.
Yeah.
And you have a family out there, and you do, and what did you eventually find yourself doing as a profession?
I worked at, my brother-in-law had a body shop, and I helped him on nights and weekends and took over his shop. He bought another one in Othello, which is 30 miles away. And then he sent me down there to run that. Mm-hmm. So I ran it for a year or so, and then I bought it from him.
Okay.
And for the next 32 years, I had a body shop in Othello.
Yeah, very successful, obviously. I mean, anything that lasts 32 years, you're doing something right.
Didn't go hungry.
And you have family out there.
Yes. And my wife died 99. And I came back here where my brothers were in Fayetteville. And had a motorhome and was going to do a little traveling, but didn't do much. And was over there for a while, and I came over here to see Mary, and that old motorhome wouldn't leave, I guess.
The rest is history. Now, you would come back from Wenatchee. In your late high school years, my mother's brother, Bill Haley. Were Lynn's and Haley's pretty close?
Mary and me were really good friends. As a matter of fact, I stayed all night down there when Jake was a baby. So we were in the same class. So we always had a friendship. And of course, Bill was the big brother, and he played baseball. And Uncle Al really thought he was good, and thought he was really cute. And Uncle Al's the one got me interested in looking at Bill.
He did the sales job for Uncle Bill. I did not know that. So, like so many other athletes out of Izard County, and we're talking June Vines, Johnny Guthrie, Frank Shell, Bill Haley, and I'm sure I'm leaving a few out. They all had major league talent. Just didn't quite get the breaks here and there. Life happened, if you will, but were certainly good enough. You eventually would marry. What year was that?
55.
55. He was in military first, though, wasn't he?
Yes.
The military?
That was before me.
That's right.
He went in when he was young and, of course, got out when he was still young.
Like we said earlier, getting off the farm, getting in the military.
He got off the farm.
First daughter, Sandra, comes along. You make the move to Albuquerque for work purposes. Uncle Bill would play semi-pro baseball out there. A second daughter arrives while you're in Albuquerque. Lori, that was the early 60s. How long would you wind up spending in Albuquerque?
About 10 years.
Late 60s?
68, I believe.
Okay. How long after that before Uncle Bill starts at McDonnell Douglas, you start with the school district in the lunchroom, or were there a few things in between?
He came back to be marshal.
That's right.
He was city marshal for quite a long time.
Now, was there enough going on in Melbourne at the time to keep a city marshal busy?
Chase people down that's speeding. Actually, he chased down Clyde Wilson. So I figured he had shot his chances of getting on at Douglas, but he did.
Eventually got on
I guess
there.
he knew he'd do his job.
How many years did you eventually spend with Melbourne working in the lunchroom? Because you were like a fixture there.
I think about 22 years, I believe. I'd have to add it up.
I remember Saturday afternoons when they would have the drawing down here. Mr. Hayes would read the numbers, show the cardboard box top, and everybody'd check their tickets, see if they had won the money for the week. It was a big deal. That was a big deal back then. Because Melbourne would be full. It would be like Pioneer Day every Saturday. I mean, it would be full for the drawing. There would be a certain gathering in your vehicle, usually, involving yourself, my mother, Shirley Pierce, Shirley Weaver.
Yeah.
Those were usually the main four. There might be a few that would rotate in every now and then. If you wanted to know what was happening in Melbourne, that was the car to be in, because everybody was catching up in that car. And me and my brother would always be sent off to get a Coke or a candy bar, and we'd, that's great, they'd give us money, so we would be out of the way so they could talk a little bit about what was going on. And so we always, years later, we said, we should have stayed in the car more often than we would have learned a whole lot, I would imagine. And I also remember, of course, both Sandra and Lori playing basketball and being great athletes, and watching a lot of their games in the old gym and how much fun that was. And obviously, Sandra being a part of that state championship squad with Coach Watson back in '73. Those are memories that nobody will ever take away. Let's get into the recent years now. My Uncle Bill, he passes in 1992, and you mentioned a while ago that you find your way, Ken, back to this neck of the woods, late 90s. It just seems like you both reconnect at probably the perfect time for each of you. Let's get your story on how that all came together.
Well, I'd been a widow for 7.5 years, and I didn't think I'd ever marry again. Anyway, he got to talking to me on the phone, and he got to coming over and visiting, and then the rest of it's history. We married in October.
That would have been the year 2000. Okay.
Yeah, we married in 2000.
Yeah. And so since that time, obviously, you both have extended families, you have grandkids, great-grandkids, and you travel. Keeping the road hot, visiting them quite a bit. But now you're in a position where they can come to you. And they do quite often, don't they?
Well, our kids do.
Yeah.
Old
Those
folks
that
too
are able,
old, I reckon.
those that are able, come by and see y'all. Still in this house, first house on Haley Street here in Millcrest. When I think of this house, I think about some good neighbors that you had over the years. Of course, Shirley, right over here. That whole situation wound up with a marriage in your family.
Yeah, they were best friends.
And I need to do one of these with them too, eventually, and get them together. But as far as you can recall, was Tommy usually the pursuer, or was he the pursued when it comes to Sandra?
Nothing until Sandra went off to college, and that's when he got interested.
Okay.
I was shocked.
Was it one of these absence makes the heart grow fonder
I guess
type
so.
things?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they'd tell each other their sparking problems, and they were real good friends.
It finally just made sense to just get together, okay? And the sparking problems. And, of course, the Collies right across the street here.
Yes.
Wonderful neighbors
Yes.
for a long
time.
time.
I had good neighbors and still do.
Mm-hmm. You had the neighborhood storm cellar for the longest time here in Millcrest, and a lot of catching up was done in that storm cellar when bad weather was moving through. Ken, I always I ask a lot of my guests that I visit with for life advice, because we can learn a whole lot from people that have lived a whole lot. Some advice you could pass along to younger generations, things that they can put in their toolbox and keep handy whenever they might need it in their adult years.
Stay away from tobacco and liquor. My brother died, my younger brother, in his 60s.
Mm-hmm. Too young, yeah.
Smoked and drank. He had lung cancer, and he drank. My older brother he's 96.
Yeah.
Younger one than me is 92.
Mm-hmm. Life advice that you might have for youngsters coming up. Words of wisdom from Mary Bone.
Well, I think one of them, and I was talking about it because of this friend of mine yesterday. I met Tammy Ivy used to be, and her mother was Joy Rodman Ivy, and she would get a package of her dad's cigarettes because he'd buy them in the case, and we'd go up on Uncle Al's ditch up there, and we'd puff on them cigarettes. Well, she inhaled, I couldn't. So, I'm thankful I didn't learn how.
Both of you, thank you so much for the time today. I love you both. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
You are very welcome, Kenny.
Ken and Mary Bone, our extra special guests today on this edition of Home Folks. Once again, don't forget, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Ken Loggins Online, to get more content just like this, Ken Loggins Online. Also, follow us on Facebook if you get a chance, Ken Loggins Online on Facebook. For Ken and Mary Bone, I'm Ken Loggins. That's it for another edition of Home Folks.